I've been backpacking almost 5 years now, and I liked it so much, I tried doing it in the snow. Until one day,
I have triggered my SOS button on my Garmin for rescue.
It's been 2 years since then, and I haven't tried winter camping since. And I didn't know how to get back out there. Deep down, I wanted my winter adventures to be over. I bought an RV, started traveling south in January, but it never sat right with me that that would be my winter's end. Maybe winter camping isn't my thing. It's not a lot of people's, but I don't like giving up because of failure. I have to at least try to learn from my mistakes, get better, and then let winter camping go, but on my own terms. But how do I do that? I tried learning on my own, that didn't work. Do I take a class? Eventually, I went to the place every millennial learns from, YouTube. And this is where I found Dan Noakes. Dan is the king of Idaho winters.
It's a fine line between thriving and surviving.
He climbed all 9 of Idaho's 12,000-foot peaks and skied down them in the winter. He traversed the Frank Church Wilderness in 100 foot of snow. He's also a YouTuber. You should check him out. And that was my in, from one YouTuber to another. Can we collab? So in the spring of 2025, I headed to the small Idaho town where Dan lives to meet up for an overnight backcountry adventure. I had no backcountry ski equipment, so I hastily bought a split board, tested it once, and met up with Dan to give this thing another shot.
I am ready.
Can I walk with you, or is it going to be too unstable?
No, it's got stabilization on it, Dan.
Yeah.
But yes, this is a terrible packing job that I've done.
It looks just as good as mine.
Although, yeah, after seeing yours, I'm not too upset about it. Like, there's no way I'm doing this right. Oh, here I am.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I think it's cold. I think I'm nervous. I think you saying that snowmobiling is going to be tough, but we're going to use the snowmobile is kind of making me nervous, but it's okay. I'm just here to roll. You know, if we die, I just want it to be known. It's Dan Noakes' fault.
There we go.
Okay. Here we go.
Dan's snowmobile is not big enough for us, and it doesn't have reverse, so feeling really good about this, Dan.
Yeah, this is gonna be the sketchiest part.
This is the sketchiest part?
I think this will be the sketchiest part. Going up. I just hope it doesn't break. Just do one more strap and then
I think it's good to go. I think they'll stay.
Yeah, that'll stay. We made it. Barely.
So this is like a hub spot for people to come and like snowmobile.
Okay.
So we probably want to set up camp like just somewhere where there's not a trail. Maybe close to the river and these trees or something like that.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right.
It's never gonna be perfect, but
Right.
it'll at least be like better, maybe more of a platform for you. Do you need help?
Okay. Don't rush me, Dan.
You're kind of on a slant still, sorry. Should we dig it out a little more?
Nah. Oh yeah.
But now I'm like, oh. In the wintertime, I think summertime sounds a lot better. So that's all I do. I just do this. And it just like saves weight. You don't have to. And literally, that's like all you have to do. And I think that's legit. I'm not just saying that to compensate. Wait, is this? Oh no, I brought this extra one. Extra weight not needed.
Well, better that you brought extra and not enough. And then you don't have a tent.
Okay, hopefully this works.
What? So what kind of tent is this?
It's just like a teepee tent. It's very heavy. I think he does make some other ones that are lighter. But it's not like, there's a company outside of Colorado called Seek Outside, and they make teepee tents that are very lightweight. So if you're going for lightweight, I would do that. But this, for just like an introduction, like tent, it was perfect.
But it weighs 20 pounds or whatever.
It weighs so much, yeah. Straight or not? Let me just see. I think I could go a little bit more.
Okay.
Let's see if this will be good. Maybe I might have to flatten that out. We'll see. It's nice because you can put your clothing up above to dry it out.
Right.
When you start the fire, it's just nice. Oh, it's been a while.
It's been a while and since someone got you out here in the middle to sleep in the winter.
I know. That's exactly right. I think you have to be pushed to come out here. Come do this. Okay. I'll do it. All of a sudden. It's like going back in time.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's very small.
Why are you putting it on these leaves?
Just like a base so it doesn't melt the snow so much.
Okay. Oh man, yeah, and, you know, I remember why I didn't keep my stove.
It's a hit. This is like the leaky pipe.
Dude, that looks like it's been through the ringer.
The leaky pipe. I don't know if I'm supposed to get in it, or is that the best, or is it in it?
Just my Frank Church one. Hey, got on PBS.
Yeah.
I want it to be known that Dan just took over. I am responsible for digging this massive hole. And Dan jumps in at the finish line so that I can shoot him at the end here, and you all think he's the one working super hard. See how it is, Dan?
That's right, taking credit.
I'm gonna go check in on his living situation, which is crazy just from the start. I mean, he's got the teepee tent with the pipe and everything. So, a couple of lessons I've already learned. I've been learning so much today. One is backpacking in the winter is not a thing. Like, you know how you backpack during the summer and you're jumping from lake to lake and blah blah blah. Like, if I continue to do this, I'm getting a snowmobile. Like, there's no other way to do it. Like, us hauling in all this gear and actually setting up with a comfortable setup is like, take the snowmobile, take all your gear, be super comfortable, stop in one place, and then obviously we got the, the backcountry skis and stuff. I got the split board here. So we'll either start hiking tonight, we might do a run tonight. Oh no, we're getting this fire set up, so we might just chill around the fire. But then from your nice comfortable camp, you can skin up some mountains and do some backcountry skiing. And I think this, like the snowmobile, the nice setup, backcountry skiing, that's the way you go camping in the winter. But anyways, I digress. I'm gonna pop this thing open and let all the snow into Dan's tent. No big deal, Dan, you don't need it. You're fine, all right. Color me impressed. Look at this setup Dan's got. All right, so he's laid down some pine needles. And then let's see, he's got pine needles on the bottom. And he's got this tarp. Then he's got styrofoam here. And then he's got a pad. Dan, is this an X-Ped pad? Yeah. Okay, Dan's got an X-Ped pad. And then he's got a 0 degree Western Mountaineering sleeping bag. And then he's also got, I think he's got a blanket in here. He's got a pillow, yeah, and then he's got another blanket. So that is crazy amount of insulation to stay warm. Now, I will say, it took him about, I'm gonna be nice, I'm gonna say 2 hours to set this all up. So, again, not quick. Oh wow, look at this. He's got the booties. He's got the warm booties. I like that. I have some of those at home, and I was like, you know what? I want to save space. And then of course he's got the stove, which I have tried the teepee and the stove setup, and the way I was trying to use it, I sold the thing immediately and got rid of that teepee tent. And I'll show you my setup in a minute, but if you want to watch my experience with the teepee tent and the stove, by the way, the video is up here in this card, and I'll link it down in the description below. But I was trying to use it to like keep me warm all night, and that's not what Dan is using it for. Dan is using it to, like, he says he will dry out his clothes, get a little heat before he goes to bed, but then he's not relying on the stove to keep him warm. It's also how he gets water. We have no water out here. I brought all my water with me. We're only going one night. And then Dan said he'd kind of help me out with some more, but this is to melt water as well. So he gets a little warmth, just nice to have a little fire. He melts his water, he dries his clothes with the stove, but then, it's going off in the middle of the night, and you can see with his insulation here and his pad and his sleeping setup, he doesn't need it, right? He doesn't need it. And he's got his little wood pile over here. The saw seems to be really important as well. If you ever go winter camping, the saw, I feel like, is a really important tool. And he actually thinks we should have brought a bigger saw or a hatchet for our fire. And then, he's got the Hyperlight bag, which he says is his favorite mountaineering bag, this big Hyperlight bag. Yeah, so I thought, I was like, how does this guy, how do people go out when, and stay lightweight? And the answer is, at least in Dan's case, he doesn't. He doesn't, like, he tries to stay lightweight just a little bit, like, you know, but this tent is heavy, the stove is heavy, stuff like that. And that's where that key of like having the snowmobile and like getting to a spot and setting up and staying there really comes into play here. All right, the snow's coming down. I better shut this before I let all this. You've got a stove, Dan, it'll dry out, you know. Look at this thing. Oh, the guy lines he's got. You just bougie, Dan.
What happened?
You're bougie.
This is ghetto.
This is ghetto? This is not ghetto. This is as bougie as it gets.
It'll be nice. Is this not? Oh, I gotta anchor that down. Hold on.
He is messing with it a lot. So let me show you my setup real quick. Oh, my hands are getting wet. I got the MSR 4-season tent. You know how it is. And I did a video on this tent as well that I will link in a card. Description down below if you want to learn more about this specific tent. It's a 3-person, you know. So unlike Dan's tent, which weighs probably like 10, 15 pounds, this thing is under 5. And I actually didn't bring as much insulation as I could have because I have spent time out in the snow, but you know, it's only gonna get down to like 22 tonight, so we're not gonna be too cold. And you know, I've got negative 30-degree bags and pads and stuff like that, but I mean, I thought I needed to be lightweight. So I've got Mountain Hardwear sleeping bag, 0 degree. I got the Neo X-Therm sleeping pad. I just put down a little, you know, Dan's got a full-on tarp on the bottom. I just got a little emergency blanket here that kind of just, you know, probably doesn't do anything, but I'm like, oh, maybe it'll bounce some heat up towards me. And then inside, I've got a liner. You know, inside I've got my nice, comfy Sea to Summit Extreme liner. I have a down pillow for extra insulation on my head, and that's it. Other than that, you know, I'm gonna bundle up. I also, you know, Dan's got that teepee tent, which is big and nice, but I feel like this tent, you know, because it's kind of smaller and it's designed so well, it kind of traps your body heat inside. So I feel like I don't need as much. You know. I have some hand warmers and stuff, but we'll see. I'll report back if I was cold or hot.
There it is. Fire pit.
Yeah. Oh, just ruined our step.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah, in the past I would just put...
It's the deepest hole that anybody's ever stepped in.
Well,
it's mine.
Yeah, so in the past I would just basically build the fire on top of the snow, and then obviously it would sink down to the bottom and you get no warmth. And of course Dan was like, no, you got to build the whole pit so we can sit in the pit with the fire. So that's what we've done. And there's even a nice step here that I just ruined. You know what? We can fill that right back in, Dan.
We can fill that right
back in. We're good. We're good here. We're good. Look at that.
A sear specialist from the Air Force taught me this. Is you saturate these in Vaseline and then you use them as a fire starter. Hopefully everything catches.
Dan's Vaseline. Cotton balls doing the trick. It was very funny for us going into hardware stores today saying, we're 2 guys going camping, do you have any Vaseline?
Well, it kind of, actually, I don't really like sleeping with people. Like but it's nice. Like it warm. You can like dry your clothes out. Like I noticed your jacket's kind of wet. It will burn and get all sooty. It's not ideal.
we have obviously moved into Dan's tent with his stove because it is dumping out there. And needless to say, we couldn't get the fire going. But this is quite lovely, sitting around with the stove. I might have to revisit this whole stove situation. Am I breathing in smoke with every breath? Yes,
Maybe.
but, you know.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? I've smoked a cigarette or two.
But tomorrow should be a good day. We're getting a lot of snow, and I think it will be a good day. I really do.
Dan thinks it's going to be a good day. All the snow, this fresh snow means powder rides, and
Yes.
we'll see. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into, so whatever. Dan's just a fucking animal, so he is taking multiple laps and cruising around at the top of the mountain. I myself, learning from past experience, have reached my limit, and this is where, and I'm gonna just do more of the shorter run on this mountain. So here we go. Woo! Well, as you might expect from someone backcountry skiing for the first time, there is a lot of slow, unexciting footage here. I was like a baby giraffe trying to use their legs for the first time. Luckily, for the sake of this video, the King of Winter also took their GoPro, and his footage is far more exciting than mine.
This shit is messing with my patience.
Will I continue to adventure in the snow? I'm not sure. I will say I'm not ready to sell my split board yet. I'm glad I went out there. I learned a lot from Dan, and most importantly, we were able to make it out in one piece. Big thanks to Dan Noakes. Make sure you check out his channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.